Today, our podcast is on how you can find beauty in the arts. The word itself and concept of art is fluid, as there is a diverse range of creative activities that fall under this umbrella. Finding beauty in the arts is an individualized process, and there is no doubt that art brings joy and beauty into one's life. Today on Beautify.com, we are fortunate to have Sheryl Benjy, a Los Angeles artist, art educator, and creative coach to discuss beauty in the arts. Welcome, Sheryl.
Thank you, Yvette. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, today we're going to start our discussion by having you tell us a bit about yourself and how you became an artist.
So I always loved art, and ever since I remember I was around 8, and my mom noticed, and then she started putting me in art classes, and I also took art in college, and I always wanted to major in it, but my dad was a physician and he really pushed to go into the medical field. And so I did. I took all the science courses and math, and I was terrible at it. And I always excelled in art history and art and English and history courses, but I didn't trust myself. And I thought everyone else knew better than I did. And so, and I just had so many limiting beliefs about what it was to be an artist because of everything I was taught growing up, that artist struggles. And so by the age of 36, I decided I want to be a professional artist, and I've never looked back since then. So that's been my drive in life.
That's very influencing, because it shows people that you can really never give up on your dreams. If that's your dreams and that's who you are, then you have to pursue it.
Absolutely.
So we're so happy you did.
Thank you.
So can you tell us what your definition of beauty is?
So beauty to me is more than just the superficial outside surface that we can only see with our eyes. And living near Hollywood, I see a lot of that where it's very surface level and kind of plasticky, and it's not always real. It's a bit vacant and empty energetically. And beauty to me is deeper than that, especially being an artist. It's like, for me, it's like a cake. There's layers to it. And beauty shines through a person from their personality, their mannerisms, their kindness, their passion for whatever it is that they are doing in their life, and just their being, who they are being. And I feel like that's what shines through that person. And there are people that I have come across that are beautiful by society's definition on the outside, but their personality is not so beautiful, or just the way they could be mean, or just the way they speak. Then for me, at least, their beauty goes away. And for me, especially a smile makes someone 10 times more beautiful. And I feel, I've traveled a lot. So living in LA, I don't see that as much, unfortunately. I wish people here would smile more. Going to other places, you just see, like, when you look at someone, they smile, and then it just makes your day. Or they say, hi, how are you? How's your day? It lightens you up. You feel seen. And that's beautiful. That's beauty to me.
Yeah, well, I get that. And I guess this explains why you wrote this blog for us called The Beauty of Healing Through Art. It just seems to be so much broken in the world that you can find your beauty. Can you tell us a bit about your blog you wrote?
Yes. So I have healed my life through the power of art. I was struggling a lot after I had my second child, may have been postpartum depression, and I was put on medication for just, I was just feeling very depressed, and it was just overwhelming taking care of two little kids. And so that's when I started to paint again and to create again. And I was working with a life coach at the time, and she really helped me and transferring my emotions onto the canvas or onto the piece of paper or whatever creative outlet that I had, I would put it into that. And I began to notice a shift in how I was feeling. And then just recently, also, I went through some challenges, and I did a 100-day art journey. I called it the art transformation journey, and I asked for others to join along with me because I really do feel there are so many healing benefits to art, and it is something that brings, when you can heal yourself, that's something that brings beauty into your life. You start to glow from the inside out, and people notice it, people see it, people are gravitate towards you. And that's what I have noticed through my experience. Also, just I'm doing a commission piece for a mom who lost her son. He was only 18 to a drug overdose. And she told me, I didn't realize how healing art could be until I started to work with you. And she didn't really see it then before, until she started to, see the reels I would put on Instagram working on her piece, or just talking to her and what she wanted, and just seeing the piece and what serenity and calm it brought to her. And that's beauty. That is just, that's life. That's what, makes us go on and want to live, especially when you go through such a tragic event, especially as a mother.
Yeah, that's really sobering. So you've kind of transformed yourself into a coach, a creative coach through your work with your clients and others. Is Can you talk a bit about that process, and if you give anyone advice through your arts?
Yeah, so it started when I had my own life coach, and I decided to go get life coach certified because I saw just all the benefits it brought for me, and I wanted to help others. And then I started teaching kids and adults, and then I started applying all the coaching I learned to my students, and the parents especially began to see how it impacted their children and their self-confidence when I was applying the coaching and the creative coaching. Because what I've noticed is a lot of people have very low self-confidence in their creative ability, and they think that they can't create. And my thing always has been that everyone is born creative. And what happens is we end up where we left off. So if the last time we created was when we were 5 and now we're 35, then we're probably going to have the skills of a 5-year-old, and that's okay. I've seen my students, one of them, Fariba, she has been coming to me for several years and been, coming to my art retreats. And I've seen her evolution and her growth from going to that. And she even said when her first art piece she did was, she's like, it looks like a kindergarten's artwork. And now we joke around and say she's graduated to like high schooler. And to see her growth and her confidence has been so beautiful. But at first she did beat herself up, and I coached her through it. And now she's just blossomed so much, and it's just so beautiful to see. And her work has, like, she's an example for other students in the class now. And I tell them, listen, this is where she started, and you too can get to this place if you just remain consistent and keep going. Don't give up.
Yeah, as women, we're our worst critics.
Oh yes.
We're so
And
hard
we're,
on ourselves.
yeah, and so hard on ourselves in every aspect, and even especially like the way we look. Like, I was listening to another mom, and she's pregnant with her third child, and she said, after I'm done with this, I'm gonna go, do this to my face and this to my body, and all like from head to toe. I'm like, wow, we are so hard on ourselves when this body is giving life, and that's so beautiful. And yeah, you're gonna have those stretch marks, and your stomach's not gonna look the same, but you were given this body, and this body was able to give a child to you, and that's such a gift. But it's so hard to see all of that, especially living in, like I said, like when you live so close to Hollywood and everything looks so perfect, but that's just an illusion. That's the thing, it's an illusion.
It's
And
superficial.
it's
Well,
very.
that leads me to my question. And looking at your beautiful body of work, I saw you do something called body art for the soul. Can you explain what that is about? It's really quite beautiful.
Thank you. So I was fascinated by body art by watching other artists and what they were creating on social media. And I wanted to add my own twist to it with my spiritual practice, doing yoga and meditation. And I feel like as adults, we forget to go into that land of imagination. We're really good at when we're children to go into that special world, but as adults, it just goes over our head. So with body art for the soul, I want to create a space where you can be in that magical world again, and where it's full of wonder. And it's a time to self-reflect, to feel the paint strokes against your skin, which I feel is very healing. And whoever I do it for even says, like, this is so relaxing and it feels so good. And it nourishes our soul. And something that inspired me was watching Buddhist monks. I was watching a documentary, and I was seeing these Buddhist monks create these beautiful sand mandalas. And they're like these geometric forms. I don't know if you've ever seen them before. And they put so much energy into those art pieces, making them out of these beautiful different colors of sand. And then at the end of when they were done, and they were doing prayers on them as well, when they were done, they swept them all away. And I was like, oh, as an artist, to see that, you're like in shock. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you saving that? You just destroyed it. But their whole philosophy behind that is that there's an impermanence to everything in life. It's not going to last forever, but at that moment, to enjoy that beauty in the process of creating and putting those prayers in it. And then they collect the sand, and they, disperse it out into the world through like rivers and streams, so the prayers could go out into the world. So I feel like the body art that I do is the same. It's putting that art on the person, which isn't going to last forever. You're going to have to take it off at the end of the day, or however long they leave. Sometimes people leave it on till the end of the day because they love the feeling so much. And then you just have it in the photographs, but they have that moment. And that's what life is. You just have that one moment to be in and to truly enjoy, and then it's gone. And I feel like it brings the person to the present and what they're feeling, and that joy. And that's where beauty lies, and in that moment in life.
Yeah, well,
So
you certainly have given me a greater and a bigger appreciation of art in terms of what my narrow concept of what art is. And I want to
thank
thank you
you.
for that. And can you let our audience know how they can find you and your work?
Absolutely. So they could go to SherylBenjy.com or on Instagram at SherylBenjy_art. I also have a Creative Spirits Facebook group that they can join, and also create the Creative Spirits podcast they could find on Apple or Spotify. And it's great for anyone who is a professional artist or just starting out as an artist, to get a dose of inspiration daily. And also in the Facebook group to have that community support. I think that's very important as a creative, to have that support. And this is a way to bring more beauty into your life.
Wonderful. And thank you for all you do and sharing your thoughts with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Yvette. Thank you for having me.